how you doing, ma'am? So how you, Kim? Where may I ask you a question? Where is your is this your corporate office? Where are you all located? Okay. Long story short, ma'am, I really can't make it long, so I'll make it as I mean short. My apologies. So I'll make it as short as I can. I woke up at 8:50 out my sleep this morning after everything that's happened. At 9:14 is when I realized, okay, I need to find yet another number. I have spoken to, I don't know where he falls on the ladder above or over you, but Larry Williams of US Vets is well aware of everything that has gone on in my life. I have had several lawsuits up until this point with this facility, including a very much sexual harassment lawsuit with a grown man standing over my naked body. That can almost be, as far as I'm, fuck almost, that's sexual assault as far as I'm concerned, because if I was a female, it definitely would be. But now we have graduated, and I have to use that word because it is almost as if these people are challenging themselves on the grounds of wickedness. I wake up with my, I'm sorry, I'm not wake up. Well, yes, wake up still to see my still traumatized puppy. But I leave yesterday after everything that's happened here, all of the intense, inappropriate, sexual, violent, bully, druggy shit that's going on here at this facility. My puppy has been burned down to her goddamn pink meat by some ignorant, nasty ass dope fiend, possibly goddamn employee here, and I will never know the truth. And once again, maybe you know how it feels to be sexually assaulted, because I very much do. That's the only thing I can compare this to my former guard dog. She has done none of the things she usually does. She loved getting up and barking when people walk past this window and showing out for me. Somebody came into this room. She knew she was on her job, but guess what? When they held her down and burnt her flesh, she doesn't feel like a dog anymore. Not alone like a man, like a woman. She does not feel like a four-legged beast whose purpose is to protect, guard, and love. She got to get loved on now, because I'm looking at this big ass burn gash on my baby that I sent to Mr. Larry Williams last night, among other things, and he has not gotten in touch with me. The HR lady that sat across from me, I have her ass recorded like she knew I was. How can you give someone permission to record you? Whether she gave me permission or not, I would have, because look at what's going on. But here's the thing, ma'am. How could you give me permission to record you and in front of Kevin, who's the boss over all this shit? Say what you said in front of him, and when I get on the camera and let him know what you said and did, you sat in front of me in short and tried to convince me the only thing you're sitting in front of me for is the coworker who looked at my naked body selling me weed. I said, ma'am, you're trying to tell me you came all this way for some herb? Don't get it twisted. That's illegal, and yes, he's not here for that. But before he did, I mean, I'm saying, but after he did that, he fucking stood over my naked body, and before he did that, a great many other things have happened. So you're trying to tell me that's all you're here for? Do you know this fool ass bitch had the nerve to say yes? But hold on, we'll get to the rest. Then, in the same conversation, she told me, oh, I have every text message you sent Mr. Williams. I had to remind her. I said, okay, so to reiterate, go back to what you said earlier. How the fuck did you look me in my, cause, and I have to use the language I'm using now because y'all around this bitch attacking puppies. Because as far as I'm concerned, you stuck your goddamn fingers on my baby. And if you didn't this time, guess what? If nothing was to happen from this, you would next time. Damn it, y'all be coming here burning and sticking y'all fingers in me. She told me verbatim, all you were here for was this man selling me herb. Then you turned your stupid ass around and said you have every text message. Just like Megan, the lady that's allegedly over mental health here. She is so goddamn inappropriate. She told me in front of Kevin, and I wish I would have recorded it. When I went to get my tablet, Kevin told me no. That's not necessary. And guess what? I should have said, oh yes, the fuck it is, and left anyway. Because if y'all would have heard the crazy ass aggressive, essentially I could have recorded her face. She had no right. I'm not even going to bring up everything she said in detail because it's irrelevant. I've done it on camera already too many times. But the point I'm making is the fact that you sat there and did that and then lied and told me they're trying to make it seem like that I'm so fucked up in the head. First, you tried to say that my puppy was such a problem. They lied and said she didn't have paperwork. She has every shot. She is chipped. She is licensed. The only thing I need is her emotional support paperwork. Something that was told to me by my case manager, Stephen Bolton, that it was fine. And here's the thing. When it became clear that Stephen couldn't make me do what I want to do, no one here, ma'am, at this facility has the right to tell me I have to take medicine. Do you know they're trying to convince themselves because he won't let me suck his dick and fuck on me? Because that's what it is, ma'am. Because I won't do what grown men want me to do, At the end of the day, now you got to get the fuck out. He tried to make it seem like, okay, I'm going to go ahead, act like I'm got your best interest and make you take medicine. I just told you my mother used to drug me, number one. Number two, which is actually number one as well, I just told you how this shit destroys your brain, slows you down, has you fucked up out here. But that's how you want your sex victims, apparently. Because like Jasmine said, she's the lady that works in the office who makes the name badges. She and the young lady at the desk said, hold on, these people can give you suggestions. And I stopped her. I said, but you have no right to tell me what I'm going to do or I'm kicked out. Stephen Bolton's exact words to me was, you're going to take medicine. You're going to go to Exodus, or if you don't, it's Exodus or exit it. Excuse me? Then Kelly, the housing coordinator, told me verbatim, over a week, Steve Bolden has held my goddamn voucher information for me. I had maybe, and I say that because I don't know. I have to go to St. Margaret's and see for myself. But my voucher was to expire the 10th. But we were going out the way to get me an extension because I hadn't had one. I had got locked up for defending myself in a fist fight. It's all kind of crazy shit in my life that's been happening. But when I got out knowing that, okay, I'm going to get my voucher reported, do you know that Steven went out of his way? And ma'am, I said this in front of Steven, in front of Steven's boss, in front of Kevin, and it fell on dead ears until I got on the goddamn phone, went over their head and called their boss. Now guess what? More days have passed, more nasty sick shit has happened, and no one has came here. Ain't no way in the fuck. Me being Larry Williams, let alone everyone else, let alone any and everyone else. I went to Augustine and I showed him this last night. Ma'am, I stopped writing grievance forms because it was clear it didn't matter. But the fact that I could send you, if this was your personal cell phone, or if you wanted me to send it to your cell phone, I can send you the same videos of my baby laying on this bed who is lifeless right now that I sent to Larry Williams. And here's the crazier thing. They just called me to leave a message, but apparently it was something wrong with their phone. There was a married couple named Lenny and Joe who, crazy enough, had a dog, a puppy, my apologies, because they're big in size. But they're big, healthy-ass puppies. They're hitting dog age. But when you look at their face as opposed to their body, these are babies. And whether or not they were, you did this nasty shit to a living creature. Have a puppy, a boy to be exact. I have the girl from the same litter. They locked in and they said the same thing. I need you to know he doesn't behave that way. They made it clear, and I stopped them, that he can't be around other dogs and small children because they used to fight him, and it fucked them up. Because literally, she has never let a dog get in her face. My bad, bro. Lick all on her like that. She has never let no shit like that happen. So, my apologies. My roommate just walked in just now. But she's never behaved that way. So the fact that I was able to send Larry Williams that picture of look at my dog earlier today, then I go run and get some joints and look at my dog with this big ass burn mark on her body. That ain't nobody came forward and tried to explain. Ain't nobody came and said, hold on, what the hell? Whoa, what the fuck going on? You feel me? Y'all should have been on this shit. But when y'all was trying to run game and get me kicked out of here because I'm not letting grown men suck my dick, y'all want to lie and say that my puppy is aggressive, my puppy needs to go, she doesn't have paperwork, which none of that was true. And here's why it's even more disturbing, ma'am. The more lies, like I told Kevin, the more lies that you grown adult males and females tell, I'm not going to call y'all ladies and gentlemen. Y'all grown adults, and y'all not grown for real either. Y'all just happen to be adults. It's been lie after lie after lie after lie, and I mean for all of you, Kevin. And he knew what I meant by that, because you set your ass on the phone with Steve, and Steve said, listen, man, the only thing that's a problem with you waiting for the emotional support paperwork is you don't have any shots or anything for your dog. I said, Steven, check this out. And I'm going to do the same thing for you, ma'am, that I did for Steven. I grabbed my goddamn baby's collar, and I said, permanent dog license, Los Angeles, California, Z186105628610667. Furthermore, I read off her chip information, all of her medical, she's vaccinated, shots, and everything. Larry Williams said, hold on. Send me that right now. Are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, so guess what? By you saying that means that they told you I didn't have any of that. And I said, but let me go further. In a very aggressive, authoritative, bullying manner is what they said I did. When I pressed them and said, fuck you, I ain't giving you shit, I don't got it. That's the image they painted me with, right? He said, listen, just hold on. I said, and the fact that you can't answer is what I needed to hear already. As this was happening, Kevin, who is Levi's boss, Levi ain't been nowhere found since this happened. Because I told Levi, I know what you thought you came here to do, but look what's going on, look what you haven't been told. Do you know that they kept trying to kick me out to the very end? The last person they sent was Gary when it was already made clear that, okay, you're going to go to Exodus. Now, keep in mind, man, my appointment for downtown mental health was the 10th to get my money sent from Michigan to my SSI and SSD from Michigan to California, and to start therapy, and to get this emotional support papers for my puppy, and get my insurance switched to California. Because I don't know if you're familiar with how that works, but when your insurance is tied to your SSI, from what I'm being made clear, in many cases, you can't just jump to another state and get insurance. You have to do the full switch over. They were aware of all of that. They were aware of me being in the process of adopting this animal, especially Steve and Kelly, and they made it clear. You can have your dog here, your puppy, whatever the case, until you get your papers. You think everybody here got paperwork? I know they don't, because I've had conversations with people. So the fact that you tried to make this about solely my puppy and nothing more, and when that didn't work, now my baby is getting attacked, and there is no phone calls, no text messages. Y'all were adamant about throwing me in the streets with this baby. Now y'all ain't nowhere to be found. I let it be known. Here's the crazier part. I've been making this promise since it became clear that I am being harassed and bullied. But after what happened to my child, as far as I'm concerned, I told Larry Williams, I will be calling PETA, going to the ACLU. This is more than a lawsuit now, because it already was. But as far as I'm concerned, like I told him and the cop when they asked, and the only individual who I can call a friend that I've met since I've been here, she said, let alone the cop said verbatim, who do you think had the balls to do that? Who do you, and ma'am, I wish you could see Officer Dunn of the Inglewood Police Department's face. Every time he looked, at one point it was as if he almost threw up in his mouth. He said, who do you think even did that? He said, I said, let me tell you exactly why I'm knowing what you mean. I said, he said that with a screech in his voice, to be exact, ma'am. I said, listening to your voice, you're disturbed right now. He said, how can I not be? I said, I'm going to tell you, just like I told the last two people that asked that question. I said, either somebody who wanted to or somebody who could. And what I mean by that, I showed the only employee on shift who is the only morally inclined employee that I know of verbatim. I showed him in his face, he wanted to cry. Augustine is his name. The cop looked like he wanted to throw up. I said somebody who wanted to or someone who could. And what I mean by that is one of my many roommates who were here. We not supposed to have people in our fucking apartment, but it was people all in and out of here as usual because it's the Super Bowl. They playing football on the TV. So that's an excuse to have people in and out your rooms with the staff not saying shit, watching this shit happen. Or, once again, someone who could. An employee who came in our apartment, let alone my room, and did that shit. But guess what? She can't talk, and ain't nobody gonna tell on themselves. Now here's where the problem really comes in. Like I told the same officer, all the problems I've had with my certain roommate slash all at the end of the day, when you think about it, all this shit that's going on, all this prison penitentiary shit that people in LA County pride themselves on, all this jail shit that runs the goddamn region, let alone the behind the wall. Y'all trying to tell me that this shit is cool and acceptable on the tier? I have the right mind to know that everybody in here knows what happened that was here that day. But here's the thing. I would hope that it's a matter of one of you sick motherfuckers had the intelligence to know, no, I get rolled on for this one. Let me sneak, do a creep move, you feel me, and go burn this baby. Come in this room, but here's the thing. She barked. She got authoritative. She didn't just let you creep up on her. Guess what? That's her MO now. You're not gonna just come in this room now and know for a fact something about the bark and attack. No, that's not the case, at least for a while. So you came in here, did that to her. She cried out like I know she did. And you telling me that nobody heard it? That's why I have the right mind to know. Y'all all have to know. Unless for a fact, everybody stepped outside, you did that, and you hurried up and ran out. And when they said what happened, what you say, I don't know, stupid fucking dog. That's a possibility, but I doubt that for the fact of the matter she's going to make noise so all you motherfuckers know what happened. And when I broke it down to Officer Dunn, he said, God damn. I said, I know, right? Now, which one do it sound like to you? I said, and before you answer, you shouldn't even have to think that hard. He said, exactly. I need you to know, ma'am, he never answered. Nor can I answer my damn self. And once again, they do morning meeting at 8 o'clock. Why has Levi, Kevin, why has goddamn Steve Bowden? Why is the nasty ass, I don't know if he's Arabic or Indian, when I told Steven's manager, I always forget his name. I said, sir, at the end of the day, I have been getting harassed for over a week. I said, Stephen Bowden withheld my housing voucher. And I have papers from my dog saying she's completely healthy. She's a brand new baby. He smiled, laughed at me, and said, well, I can't care about that. I said, and you're smiling and laughing at me on camera. Oh, okay. Do you know he laughed again wholeheartedly? This shit was funny. You're not going to let me see your penis? Well, get the fuck out. And when I said this to Jesse, it was funny. To Levi, it was funny. But when I kept bringing up the sexual, I'm promising you, I've been sexually active since 4. I've laid with plenty of grown-ass men against my will, let alone with it. So know for a fact, I know when someone's attracted to me. My nasty-ass mother and my upbringing, that's the one fortunate thing I got out of it. I know when somebody undeniably is attracted and I'm not doing what you need me to do fast enough. Ain't it crazy that later on that same night, a grown-ass man that don't work here anymore for that reason, but they don't want to acknowledge that, they only want to talk about the herb, still over my naked body. And here's the thing, y'all still was trying to kick me out knowing he did that shit. Once y'all realize y'all fucked up and see y'all couldn't, now a grown man then came in here and burned my goddamn puppy. If I could send you this video right now, the burn mark, keep in mind though, man, this started when I realized it yesterday. When I left and came back and saw that shit, like the cop said, when he asked me if I told anybody, I'm like, why would I tell anyone who's gonna admit some shit like that? That's not something. Would a pedophile, would a sex offender admit to you they did the shit? No. That's something that I'm gonna have to go out my way to prove, fight, and furthermore, like I said, the only person for a fact who I know didn't do it is my roommate that you keep hearing the doors closing in and out, because it was his literal birthday yesterday, and this brother did not come back in until 2:45 in the morning. So with that being said, like I told the officer, and he more than agreed. I said everybody in this goddamn apartment need to be kicked out this bitch for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're supposed to literally not do none of the shit we were doing in here. Protocol was broken very, very, very many times. Number 2, on God, which is really number 1. I'm just trying to go by the book with this shit. Because principle and morals don't matter. But principle and morals should over anything. A puppy, out of all the beef that y'all people done had in here, which is not beef, it's broken, dope fiend people who done given up on themselves want me to give them on myself too. And I'm not being mean when I say that. I've been a goddamn sex addict. I was an alcoholic because of my nasty ass father since 6 years old. So I'm not being mean or throwing shade or stones at nobody. Baby, I'm projecting, if anything. I grew up out of that bullshit and refused to be stuck and stagnated like our parents clearly wanted us to. And this is what the fuck y'all on now. Because if I was to step to you and say, bro, did you do this shit? What kind of fool would I look like when you go upside my head and now I'm locked up? And now she really out here in the world. Thank you for having the time and the care and the patience to listen to this entire conversation. Because guess what? Once again, I don't know where this brother falls, but Larry Williams is over everybody at this establishment. Every time I've said his name through this ordeal, people just walk away and they don't come back. The only person that's came back when I ever said Larry Williams is on the phone is Kevin, because nigga, you got to. And he verbatim said, you don't contact anybody other than myself and Larry. Well, why you ain't give me your number, Kevin? And I asked you in that moment, can I get your number, or I'll bring it back to you, and no, the fuck you didn't. But it's okay. I had no intentions of doing that anyway. I got your boss number, and baby, your boss ain't hit me back either, so what are we doing here? Because Larry Williams is very well realizing, okay, I guess y'all niggas gonna have to find another job, or maybe me, is what the fuck it's looking like. Because Larry, why have you not hit me back? And you told me verbatim, if anything happens, I told him, I feel as though me and my baby about to be getting attacked any day now. His exact words were, oh no, no one's that stupid. Trust me. Larry, they're that stupid, and apparently so are you, nigga, because why you ain't called me back yet? Let alone the federal case I got at 7-Eleven where they stealing my food stamps. Let alone everything violent and drug-wise, everything, all the bullshit that happened here before this shit, before the sexual shit. Let alone what happened at Vines yesterday with that same couple. Like I said, these are all irrelevant things, but I'm only making a point of I'm getting harassed by the goddamn universe, clearly. Now it's falling on those that are next to me. I don't have anyone in this world. I don't have an understanding. I don't have a mama and daddy, and they're very much alive. It was just me. Now it's me and this baby, and this is what y'all doing to her, so y'all doing it to me, because like music, she is an extension of self. And I cannot believe that this is going on, and to no avail. It's goddamn 9:35, and I have still not got a call, a text, a knock at this door from no one of authority. And here's the thing, I am not. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to pop up in here on one random moment, ask me if I got my emotional support papers, like that's all that matters, and think they gonna put me up out of here. Or they gotta be smart enough to know, oh no, we definitely can't do that now. We gotta see how this shit play out. Larry Williams told me verbatim when I asked him, can you please find a way that I can go to another facility, a Project Room Key, but it has to be equal or greater than this one. I'm not about to go nowhere. They tried to send me to Skid Row and put her in a kennel because too much of y'all nasty shit was being aired out. You should see how, and I gotta say it because it's been made clear to me, nigga, you African since I got here to Southern California, let alone here in Inglewood at this U.S. Vets. You should see how the simplified black female staff, aside from Jasmine, treat me. And speaking of Jasmine, can you understand how it feels to walk out your apartment 2 days ago, see Levi, who's up under Kevin, standing in front of your door? And ma'am, I told this same story to both the cop and Augustine. Jasmine is built like females back home. What I mean by that is we built big back in Michigan, let alone Africa. Michigan, Detroit to be exact, was known as Low Africa. I look out the window and see a female. I say, dang, who is that? Because I'm thinking that Levi, who carries himself like a 16-year-old, is macking on some female. No, that's just how this immature man carries himself. That's not no big butt girl that's talking to this man. That's a lady who I gotta say, I'm looking at her body language. She's going through something and it's upsetting her, and she's bringing it to her manager's attention. So when I walk outside, I walk past Levi. His exact words talking to whoever he was talking to, and I explained this to Augustine, and Augustine's face said, what? He said verbatim, I need you to know, I just talked, and I mean just talk to Jasmine and talk to her plentiful. She knows, dog, she's more than aware. You need to watch your back, and I mean watch your back. Watch your back, watch your back, haha, watch your back, haha. Now, I wish I can show you how I'm shrugging and jumping my shoulders, but you got the right, and this is the second time I've had to tell this story, by the way. You saw me walking past. You see you talking about some scurvy shit. You know that Jasmine has a goddamn heart, a conscience, and she cares about this bullshit I'm going through, rather no one else in this goddamn staff does, other than Augustine apparently. So you didn't want me to hear you talking about her and what somebody in this nasty ass facility need to watch their back for because she knows, she's aware, and she's telling. Your ass need to be told on. Why it seems as though everybody is telling on y'all? And if they don't tell fast enough or with enough evidence, they get kicked out in the goddamn street. So much for good old U.S. vets. Whether you a veteran, whether you LASA, whether you out the joint, whether you waiting for your voucher, whether you got a voucher or you waiting to get your shit ported. Know for a fact, y'all, people are getting sent here. And I got to say y'all, because y'all name is tied to a lot of treacherous shit. That if people were of sober mind, of sane mind, if people didn't get their confidence stripped from their parents growing up, let alone society, got told beat and shut the fuck up, they wouldn't be getting away with this shit. We are in a building with sick people and they are being harbored. Ain't that a bitch? Not too far from the harbor area. I know Inglewood like doing a solo independent thing. But you have people who come to work knowing they sick to hover over somebody that's sick. That's not right. That's a common thing going on in America, especially here in these so-called outreach services. Be it Project Room Key, LASA. It's too many weirdo, sick, nasty-spirited, nasty, fleshly, nasty-minded people working over people who have problems and need help. But guess what? As much problems as I have, baby, I don't have the problems that y'all thought I did. And I look at y'all when y'all see me. Not you, of course. These individuals here being y'all. When they walk past me and see that he's still here, especially the simplified black females, you would not believe how they look at me, mug me. I hear them under their breath talking about me since this ordeal happened. Y'all that mad that I told on somebody that's doing nasty stuff? Oh, I know your mama made you shut the fuck up real young because you think this type of, this type of shit is okay, and I'm wrong for speaking up, huh? Ma'am, I don't feel safe, and I'm going to ask you, just like I asked Larry Williams, if it's anyone that can make this happen. D as in dog, E as in elephant, V as in violin, I as in igloo, N as in Nancy. That's Devin, not Kevin, not Devon. Devin Keaton, like Michael or Diane. Keaton. That's K as in kite, E as in elephant, A as in apple, T as in Tom, O as in Oliver, N as in Nancy. I am begging you, throughout this 24 minutes plus of me throwing my heart on the floor, hoping that they don't get stepped on again. Hours at this point. Could you or anyone that you know, please, because the only thing that's going to stop this lawsuit is me dying, or under some bullshit circumstances I get locked up for something that people know I didn't do, but that's how conspiracy works from what I hear out here in LA. I did 8 months for defending myself in a fist fight. It's no such thing as coincidences in LA County. So, Southern California, period. I need to be moved somewhere. I know I just said a great deal about Project Roomkey. It's always sexual shit going on at these establishments, ma'am. I don't know if you're aware, but I've been here since June of 2021. I haven't even been here 2 years, here being Southern California. It's a lot of nasty, underhanded, behind the scenes shit going on that people are forced to deal with if they want to have a little toehold on life. But guess what? I'm gonna have to deal with that type of shit possibly somewhere else. I could be fortunate and not have to deal with it. But I need to leave this facility because I no longer feel safe here for us, let alone forget physically. Look at what is clearly about to go down. When the right, if a shitty, biased, lazy ass defense attorney who decided to have this much get up and go about himself, was to take this case, I'm leaving America, let alone Southern California. That is happening regardless. The only thing that's going to make it worse is that once again, I'm begging to be moved somewhere else, and it's falling on deaf ears. To make it even worse, Kevin, who is the manager of all this, told me, imagine if I said violent. Let's take it off the sexual tip. Imagine if I said, it's clear that Stephen Bowden wants to physically assault me. All he talks about is his Golden Glove gory days. All he talks about is direct physical contact. All he wants to do is stand over me and beat my ass. Would you tell me, now listen, son, it's one thing that we gonna let be known right now. Ain't no switching case managers. I wish I can show you how he poked his mouth out and looked at me like it was so funny. Of course I said, okay, that's fine. Ain't no switching case, ain't no switching the man I said sexual shit about. He shouldn't even want to be my case manager anymore. Whether you would agree with that, you can tell me or not. But common sense, everybody I've told that to have said, hell no. And you're going to tell me after me saying this sexual shit and what his man's turned around and did the very next day? You're going to tell me the very next day? Now listen, you got to keep Steve though. You're not changing him. That don't work like that. So you want me to keep somebody that's going to potentially go out their way to crash me, right? Somebody that withheld my voucher information from me. That's illegal as fuck. And when I said it in front of him, let alone his manager, he didn't even acknowledge it. And his manager said, well, that's irrelevant. Ma'am, I have been talking for almost 30 minutes. Thank you, first of all, for allowing such a thing, whether you're still listening or not, whether it's several people listening. But yes, this is in 733 Hendry Ave, Inglewood, California at US Vets. And once again, I gave you the short story. The only elongated details I gave you was that of my puppy. I didn't even give you the long details about that nasty man standing over me, let alone everything else. A chip off the tip of the iceberg. So imagine the glaciers. But I'm going to go ahead and stop because I'm sure it's something that you need or want to say at this point. Thank you for allowing me the floor because it's clear you can tell that I woke up out my bed upset. I had to get in the shower because I can't just get up and start my day. I had too many accidents. As I said, I get SSD, let alone SSI. So I had to let that hot water hit my flesh. And the first thing I did was get on the phone and call you. You are the very first number that I called in this phone.
Oh wow, thank you. Dang. Like if I could do something, I would do it, but you know, only person I know is Larry, and I don't
You
think
know
he's,
what's crazy?
you know.
Ma'am, listen. You told me what the fuck I already knew. And that was the point of me making this call. I sat back knowing. Because even the cop asked me, is there anyone over the Larry person's head you can go? I said, on some real shit, sir, between me and you, I don't believe so. Because when I called corporate, when this shit first started, way before the sexual shit happened, the white lady that answered said, this name, the name of this man is Larry Williams. He's the only, her exact words is he's the only person that I know that can definitely help with this. So who do I call from here? If he haven't called me back, ain't this so? That means based off you as a grown ass lady that's lived, it's probably a mother. I need to go ahead and do this PETA and ACLU thing from here, right? In your opinion, because you said it yourself, it's nowhere you can even point me to.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. What's your name again, ma'am? I thank you for your time.
you're welcome. Kim?
Kim,
Yes.
thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And it will be definitely noted that you went out the way to at least give a fuck to listen.
Yes.
Thank you very
I
kindly. Have a
definitely will
great day.
understand. You're welcome. Thank you too. You
Thank
know,
you. I will. I,
everything gets better for you.
and listen. This is my sign that it is. Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome.
All right, peace. Ain't that a bitch? I would give you another number, but Larry Williams is the only number. I don't know any other numbers to give you, and he haven't called. And listen, Motherfucker, I'm not calling your black ass not one more time either.